Welcome to the Ashua podcast, a space for souls ready to explore the unseen world of energy, intuition, and soul remembrance. Here, we dive into everything from starseeds and ascension to the psychic senses, past lives, and soul alignment. This is a podcast by me, Alicia, at Ashua. So I want us to start to speak more about star origins here in this podcast. However, just as the Akashic records, light language, and many other spiritual phenomena, if you know me, you know that I have a quite different take on spiritual phenomena oftentimes. And I guess the same thing goes with starseeds. I don't believe you to be from the Pleiades. I don't believe you to be from the Orion. I believe you to be from Source. And then I believe that the places you believe to come from are parallel existences, parallel expressions of your soul. It's parallel lifetimes. But now, it's more complicated than that. And to present how I view star origins, I want to use Sirius as an example. When we speak about Sirius in society, we speak about Sirius A and Sirius B. We speak about facts, what we know and what we can see. We speak about Sirius as a binary star system. We have Sirius A being the bright dog star, the star that we see, and then we have Sirius B, a faint white dwarf companion. But in the spiritual community, we speak about Sirius A, B, and C. And now if I were to use the alphabet for the way I think of Sirius, I would use the whole alphabet because I divide Sirian star origin in 28 different kinds of people, or maybe I could even use the word archetype or programming. Actually, I don't know what word to use for this yet, but whenever I tune into Sirius, they tell me it's 28. 28 or 27, depending on how you count it. And at certain points, I've been wondering if I should just sit down and write everything down and present all 28. But honestly, I don't want to, and I'm gonna tell you why. In our society, we think that the more educated you are, the better you are. And that's not true. The more educated you are, the more educated you are. The more you know on that particular topic, but it doesn't make you better than everyone else. And we don't say that maybe, but that is subconsciously what humans believe. And one of the last things I want to preach as a spiritual teacher is applying that in the spiritual realm. So what I've been doing so far instead is that I've been using these 27 or 28 groups and I've divided them into Sirius A, B, and C. So I've been trying to stay in the framework that we usually use within spirituality, but because I have my framework, I do want to warn you, because my framework might differ from other people. Now, when it comes to spiritual phenomena and topics, we are all different. Different things are more important to different people, to different souls, and to me. Why I use and work with and read and see and communicate with these beings is because I believe them to be parallel expressions of us, and we can use them as a mirror. You know how hard it can be to look yourself in the mirror sometimes, seeing your own flaws, really seeing yourself for who you are, and it can even be hard for us to see our beauty as well. Like if I were to tell you you're beautiful, you have such an amazing, pure soul, many of you wouldn't feel that as deeply as if I said, you're a Pleiadian. And Pleiadians are beautiful souls. They have pure souls. For many people, it's easier to get activated when we speak of the Pleiadians compared to speaking about you. Because when we speak of the Pleiadians, we bypass your conscious mind. We start to activate things in your subconscious and unconscious that your soul remembers from parallel existences. And the reason it's still good to use the stars is because different stars are coded with frequencies. They carry frequencies. They represent different forms of life, different aspects and different characteristics, different programming. So the stars are important, but when it comes to like details, which world is which, how can we divide that world, and how can we, I don't know, like that's not just as important to me today. And the second reason why it's not that important to me is because I perceive that most of what we speak of when we speak about star origins, it happens in a higher dimension. And it isn't as linear and as physical and tangible as we would like it to be. So again, now we are gonna start to speak more about star origins, and I will use titles and names such as Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C. But to me, I want us to read between the lines. I want us to see the message, the purpose, the frequencies, the meaning of it, the characteristics, the aspects, the lessons, the life. We are in this podcast mainly going to focus on using these star origins as mirrors to us. And I know and understand that what I've been saying so far might be quite complex. So let's slow down a little bit. Let's just speak about Sirius as a whole, because I'm so fascinated by Sirius in so many ways, and I think the thing that mesmerizes me the most is that I believe, from what I see when I tune into energies, it seems to me as the Sirian DNA is the star origin and the cosmic or multidimensional DNA that we as humans carry most of. I must say it in a different way. I believe that the human DNA are made of partially DNA from these star races. Out of that percentage, it seems to me as a huge part of that is Sirian. But I also believe us to have a connection to these star origins through our soul. Again, through the not just past lives that we've had, but the parallel lives we are having. So I believe us to have a connection to Sirius and other star origins in multiple ways. In our DNA and through our soul. And therefore, it's going to be extra fun to speak about Sirius in this podcast, because that means that each and every one of you has a connection to Sirius. Now, question is, if we carry it in our physical body, if Sirius is a part of our human DNA, do you think our soul has to have an experience there to be able to match the body? Just a question, just for fun. But I think it will be pretty fun to speak about Sirius in the podcast, since I believe that many of you have a connection to Sirius in one way or another. During these episodes, I will actually present information that I've never heard any other channel speak about. Maybe they have, but I think I actually will bring some new information to the table. So if you have a friend that is interested in this too, feel free to share this podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. This was just the beginning, just a little warm-up before we start to speak about Sirius A. Thank you for listening to the Ashua podcast. If you liked this episode, I would be very, very grateful and happy if you shared it with a friend. I hope this episode brought you a deeper sense of clarity, connection, and remembrance. And if you want more, you find me at ashua.space and thevibrancyclub.com. Until next time, take care.